Loyal seekers of the forgotten, welcome. Today we descend into the labyrinth of history's most seductive vanishing act. A treasure born from sunlight and time, crafted by genius, plundered by tyranny, and lost to the shadows of war. Imagine a room where walls aren't stone, but solidified gold. 6 tons of Baltic amber, carved into mythic scenes, inlaid with diamonds and mirrors that turn candle flames into constellations. This is the Amber Room, the 8th wonder of the world, a masterpiece that survived empires only to evaporate in 1945. Was it reduced to smoke, buried in a salt mine, or waiting in darkness for its resurrection? Prepare for a journey spanning 3 centuries, crossing frozen battlefields and coded diaries, where obsession and destruction collide. This is not just a story of loss. This is a ghost story deep in the workshops of Prussia's Charlottenburg Palace. Master craftsman Gottfried Wolfram and Ernst Schacht faced an impossible task. King Frederick, I demanded a chamber worthy of Apollo, a sanctuary forged from the tears of the Baltic. For 10 years, they wrestled nature's caprice. Baltic amber, that mystical resin of extinct forests, shattered like glass under chisels. Workers mined cliffs near Königsberg, battling collapsing tunnels and poisonous gas, hauling nuggets as large as human skulls. In lamplit studios, artisans sorted 100,000 fragments by hue, honey, cognac, cherry red, polishing them until they glowed like trapped fire. Then came the mosaics. Italian stonecutters spent years creating allegories of sight and sound from jasper and lapis lazuli, while gilders painted gold leaf on his silver-backed mirrors taller than a man. When completed, the room was a kinetic artwork. Sunlight made amber panels pulse from gold to crimson. Candle flames set dragons' eyes glittering in relief carvings. In 1716, Frederick gifted it to Peter the Great, sealing a fragile alliance. Transported by horse-drawn sleighs across frozen rivers to St. Petersburg, it arrived cracked and brittle, a prophecy of its fragility. For decades, it gathered dust in storage until Empress Elizabeth resurrected it. Her court architect, Francesco Bartolomeo Rastrelli, expanded it into a 55-square-meter marvel at Tsarskoye Selo, adding pilasters draped in gold filigree and Florentine mosaics so lifelike, nobles swore they could smell the flowers. Visitors wrote of sensory overload. The resin's pine-sweet scent, the creak of parquet underfoot, and the way candlelight animated prehistoric insects, beetles, spiders, wasps, suspended in the walls for 40 million years. Catherine the Great hosted Voltaire here, boasting it was Russia's soul made tangible. But empires rot from within. By 1941, the palace was a museum, its amber dimmed by time, unaware of the 1941, Operation Barbarossa began. As Nazi panzers raced toward Leningrad, Soviet curators scrambled. Anatoly Kuchumov, chief keeper of Catherine Palace, ordered workers to wrap the Amber Room in cotton gauze, then wallpaper, hoping to disguise it as plain walls. They lacked time to dismantle its 450 fragile panels. On September 17th, troops of Army Group North broke into the palace. Among them was the Kunstschutz, the Nazi art protection unit, led by the fanatical Count Ernst Otto von Soms-Laubach. He recognized the gauze-shrouded walls instantly. In a telegram to Berlin, he crowed, secured the Amber Room. Führer's orders fulfilled. Under Operation Amber, Wehrmacht engineers worked 36-hour shifts, prying panels from walls with crowbars. Amber splintered, mosaics cracked, Soldiers stuffed fragments into pockets as souvenirs. By October 14th, 27 crates were loaded onto a Luftwaffe transport train bound for Königsberg Castle, the medieval heart of Prussian amber trade. There, overseen by Erich Koch, Hitler's brutal geleiter of East Prussia, the room was partially reassembled in the castle's vaulted Knights Hall. Koch, a thief obsessed with occult power, displayed it as proof of Aryan supremacy. For 3 years, it became his private obsession. He commissioned photographs, hosted SS generals by its glow, and, as Soviet forces closed in, secretly ordered replicas made by enslaved artisans. In August 1944, the Allies launched Operation Hurricane. 700 RAF bombers rained fire on Königsberg. Flammable amber turned the castle into a torch. Witnesses described walls flowing like lava, molten resin dripping on its stone floors. Yet amidst the inferno, witnesses saw something else. SS trucks backing into smoke-choked courtyards, loading crates marked OK, Oberkommando to Heers. Was it salvation or looting? When the Red Army stormed the ruins in April 1945, they found only one relic, a tiny, charred mosaic of touch. The Amber Room had vanished 1,000 shadows. Erich Koch, captured in 1949, toyed with Soviet interrogators. The room survived, he hissed. It lies in a mine, sealed behind concrete. He named sites. The Wenceslas mine in Poland, tunnels under Weimar, even a church crypt in Kaliningrad. Treasure hunters descended on Europe like vultures. In 1946, Soviet Colonel Yuri Guzov dug beneath Königsberg Castle, uncovering a silver casket with 18th century diagrams, but no amber. In 1958, a dying SS officer in Bavaria whispered of crates lowered into Lake Toplitz, Austria. Divers found Nazi rockets, no treasure. Then came the curse. Art historian Dr. Alexander Brusov, who led early Soviet searches, died mysteriously in 1957. George Stein, a German researcher tracking Koch's assets, was found stabbed in a Bavarian forest in 1987. 12 amber hunters died violently by 2008. Meanwhile, fragments surfaced like ghosts. In 1997, a Florentine mosaic depicting sight and touch appeared in Bremen, held by the Sun proved its authenticity, and that it was cut from a wall with a saw. In 2000, a Baltic fisherman hauled up a rotten crate containing amber rosettes stamped with Romanov eagles. Then, in 2016, the Nazi gold train frenzy erupted. 2 men claimed an armored train buried near Wałbrzych, Poland, held the Amber Room. Using ground-penetrating radar, they identified a 100-meter-long anomaly. Poland's military sealed the site. Excavation revealed wartime tunnels. Nothing more. Modern science offered new hope. In 2020, Russian researchers scanning Königsberg's ruins, now Kaliningrad, discovered a hidden chamber beneath the castle's north tower using muon tomography. The Kremlin banned digging, allegedly to preserve historical integrity. Conspiracies boiled. Did Stalin's spies recover it in 1945? Did it sink aboard the MV Wilhelm Gustloff, torpedoed in 1945 with 9,000 refugees? Declassified CIA files revealed Project Watchdog, tracking rumors of U.S. soldiers smuggling panels to Texas in 1946. The most haunting clue? In 1979, the USSR began a replica, led by restorer Alexander Zhuravlyev. Artisans used original 18th century techniques. They carved 350,000 amber pieces over 24 years, guided by pre-war photographs and a single salvage drawer. The replica, unveiled in 2003, is flawless. Yet whispers persist. Why rebuild it so perfectly? Was it guilt or distraction? Billionaires fund sonar scans of Baltic shipwrecks. Historians pore over Eric Koch's prison diaries, decoding his mad scribbles about Case 235 and Vault Gamma. In Kaliningrad's archives, the 1945 NKVD report gathers dust. Page 17 redacted. The amber room endures not as wood or stone, but as a mirror to human obsession, our hunger for beauty, our genius for destruction, our refusal to surrender mystery. Perhaps its fate is the greatest lesson. Empires fall, gold crumbles, but stories? Stories are the only treasure no army can loot, no fire can erase. And so the search continues, in midnight dives into frigid lakes, in the static of radar screens, in the quiet hope that somewhere, under concrete and silence, golden walls still hold their breath. If you've listened this far, you're part of the quest now. Look at history's gaps. Ask what's missing. And remember, some treasures aren't meant to be found, only imagined. Until our next descent into the shadows, stay curious.